It's July 24th. There's a pink one. What's going on? One candle in one muffin.
Hi guys, it's Carol. How are ya? I'm pretty good. Guess what today is? Today is my 1 year anniversary being on YouTube. I never believed I would last this long. I never thought I'd think of enough things to say. And I am such a different person from when I started. Those of you who've been with me from the beginning, that woman in that first video, bless her heart. I'm a different woman today. Mostly, I'm going to say 75% because I finally was assigned a doctor who adjusted my medicine for me so that I wasn't always in the depression hellhole. Having the more proper dosage has really, really helped. But I'm going to give you guys 25% credit because it just makes me happy when you leave me a comment. I mean, it really does. I just feel like I have friendships with those of you that leave me comments and we talk back and forth. I just love reading the comments, and I love knowing a little bit about you guys out there. It's just been a great experience for me. And if anybody out there is thinking about maybe starting a YouTube channel, just go for it. Just do it. It's a lot of fun. This is my 212th video. I have 488 subs. Honestly, I never expected more than maybe 10. I really didn't. 488, that means if I get 12 more subs, I can apply to be an Amazon associate and have an Amazon store. I think everybody knows what that is, but if you don't, if I were to be given an Amazon associate store, I would put my link in the description, and then anytime you order something from Amazon, if you order it through my link, it costs you exactly the same as just ordering it from Amazon, but I get a little commission. So, you know, I think it's 4 cents on a dollar, but 4 cents and 4 cents and 4 cents adds up. You know, 4 cents more than I didn't have. So I'm really excited about that. I really want to have an Amazon associate store. I keep hitting the tripod. I'm sorry. I wrote down notes. I didn't have a subject to talk about today other than it's my 1 year anniversary. So I wrote down notes because I'm kind of scatterbrained today. My hip hurts really, really bad. I can barely walk today, and not a wonderful day. But anyway, I wrote down a whole list of notes, but I just wrote down like one word, you know, for each thing. I wrote down hand. I have absolutely no idea what I was going to tell you about my hand because nothing's wrong with them. No idea. About 3 in the morning it'll probably come to me, but right now I don't know. Somebody asked about my garden. It has all but burnt up. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 plants of moss rose. That is doing wonderful. And my morning glories, I've got 3 pots of morning glories. They made vines, but they're such pathetic looking, pitiful things. They never have had a bloom on them. They're just scrawny. And my big pot of succulents, it's doing wonderful. Some of those succulents are really growing. And then my squash I've already pulled up because it just burned up. And the tomatoes, I have babied those tomatoes along, and I water twice a day. I've watered twice a day since I first put the plants out there, but where my balcony, how it's situated, the west wind and the southwest wind hit my balcony really hard. Oh, my nose itches, sorry. And it's on the west side of the building, so it gets all of the hot west sun, and trying to grow things in buckets, I, I couldn't water enough to keep them going, I guess. I don't know. Somebody else told me that their roots just get so hot in a bucket because they need to be in the ground, and I don't know. My squash never made a single squash, and the leaves just got burnt to a crisp, and even though I watered in the morning and in the evening. So I pulled the squash up. The tomatoes, I've got one plant that looks pretty good, and it's got some baby tomatoes on it. The others are just, the leaves are all brown. I haven't pulled them up because they still have little tomatoes on them, but I'll be really surprised if they ripen. I don't know, but maybe I can have fried green tomatoes. I've never had that. Oh, the jalapeno has got, I think, 4 jalapenos on it. It's doing fairly well, but mostly they look stunted and pitiful, and it's just the heat and the wind. I don't think I'll try to have a garden on my balcony again. I'm just going to give up because the few tomatoes I've been able to pick are really expensive tomatoes. Somebody else asked me, how did I know so much about New Mexico? Well, just because I read. Altogether, I probably lived in New Mexico for 25 years. But when I was a kid, my parents never took me anywhere, just in our neighborhood, in our little town, and we never went anywhere else. When I got married, my husband and I didn't go places. At that time, he didn't like to do that kind of thing. So I never got to travel around New Mexico. I grew up in Tucumcari, then I lived in Rio Rancho, which is sort of a suburb of Albuquerque, and I lived on the Air Force Base in Albuquerque. So I know the road from Albuquerque to Amarillo. His parents lived in Amarillo, and that's how we ended up here. He got a medical discharge, and we had to move off the base, which killed me. I loved living on the base. But anyway, it was time to move and do something else, and so it was like there wasn't a question. We were going to move to Amarillo, where his family was. So that's what we did. That's how I got here. But we never went on day trips or weekend trips or anything like that. Oh man, if I had a car and money for the gas and the motel rooms and eating out, I would be in New Mexico really often, like every weekend. But that's not in the cards for me. I worked in a library for 20 years. I was saying something to my boss one day about how I love New Mexico. Oh, my nose itches, sorry. And I just wish I could, on my bucket list, I wish I could go to every county in the state and stay in that county until I'd seen every interesting thing, and then move to another county and see every interesting thing. I just never, all my life, I never had the money to do that after my divorce for sure. So he said, well, you can learn every single thing about it. And I thought, that's right. I've got the internet. I've got library books. I've got, sorry. My sister has sent me New Mexico magazine for a lot of years. Way back in the 70s, I read the Santa Fean magazine. I've just read a lot about the state. I do know a little bit about the state because I've read. And I can't really travel right now. I don't have the money. Financially, I can't do it. I don't own a car. My daughter's car is a piece of junk. I've got some medical issues that keep me from pretty much getting out of the apartment, pretty much. So it's not like I have the health and the finances to go travel anyway. So I have the internet. it's, I can see beautiful pictures of places and read all about them without actually having to be there. And that's the next best thing for being there. For the most part, photos are beautiful. I would love to be standing there in the middle of whatever and seeing it, but if I can't do that, then I can look on the internet and find all kinds of articles about whatever I want to learn about. When I was a kid, when I was in the 6th grade, I wanted a set of encyclopedias so bad. My best friend, her parents bought her and her sister a set of encyclopedias. I didn't even know you could own a set of encyclopedias. I wanted a set of encyclopedias so bad, and there was no way my mother could afford them. My dad was mostly in and out of a mental hospital my whole elementary school years, and she, bless her heart, she just had such a hard life. She was a waitress in little mom and pop cafes. She took in sewing and she took in ironing just to keep a roof over our head. But my brother was 16 years older than me. She told my brother, I just wanted a set of encyclopedias so bad. And he bought me one for Christmas that year. He bought me a set of encyclopedias. Someday I'm going to find that picture. I know I've got a picture of me opening the box of encyclopedias. I'll show it to you someday. But anyway, my brother bought me a set of encyclopedias. They were 2 years old at the time, but they were brand new. They were just older ones that hadn't sold. But that was okay. I did not care. And what I used to do, we were such an isolated family. I lived on the block with 2 other old ladies, an older lady on each side of us that we didn't have any contact with, and the rest of the lot was vacant lots and mesquite bushes and cactus. And we didn't have people over to our home. I didn't have friends to come over or anything like that. I was just there by myself an awful lot because my mom was working so much. But anyway, after I got the set of encyclopedias, I used to just pick a volume and start reading. I just tried to read through every single volume. Or sometimes I would pick up a volume and just open it up to a page and read about whatever was on that page. I am so sorry, my nose itches so bad. I read those encyclopedias. And I did that from the time I was 12 up until definitely when I was still in high school when I did it. And then after I moved out and had my own home, after I got married, sometimes I still did that. I'm so dang sorry I don't still have those encyclopedias. When I worked at the library, I met this lady, a Native American family from the Four Corners area, but they were living here in Texas, and she was homeschooling her children and didn't have a whole lot of money for things. And so information on states hasn't changed. Information on dogs hasn't changed. Information on geranium plants has not changed. There's a lot of information that you can read about that is still relevant. So I asked her would she like to have my encyclopedias for her kids, and she took them. And I was happy to do that, but I have missed them. At the time I was thinking, well, encyclopedias are online now. I can look up anything I want to. It's not the same as holding a book in your hand. I haven't gotten myself into the idea that reading something on my cell phone is like reading a book. But anyway, I read those encyclopedias. I have a son that is the same as I am. He just loves to read about anything. He is much better at it than I am because he has a memory. I can read something and forget it the next day now. My memory's awful, but at least one of my children does that too. I don't know about the other 3 really, but my son he's me made over in a lot of ways. We are so much alike. But anyway, that's how I learned some things about New Mexico. I'm reading a book on the Harvey girls. I've always heard of the Harvey girls, I guess because The Harvey girls, that business was tied in with the railroad, and and Tucumcari, the railroad went right through it. So I always knew about Harvey girls. So that's not something new to me, but I'm reading a book about it to get all the factual information. And that's just what I do. I read. Now I search on the internet and read things. When I worked at the library, I worked in the children's section, and I read lots of nonfiction books. If you just want to learn a lot about something, children's books are great because it's like just the facts, ma'am. It's pretty basic information, and not a long book to get through or anything. But I read a lot of children's nonfiction, and I had the whole adult nonfiction section available to me. I just read all the time. And I honestly can say, I do not believe ever, not even one time, have I ever been bored, because there's always something to read. I just can't imagine. I feel bad for people that get bored. I can't empathize with them because I don't know what it feels like to be bored. I have never been bored. I can always find something to learn about. I can always get a library book and read fiction. I can always, the days aren't long enough for me. So anyway, and what I wrote down that I was going to tell you about hand, I don't know what that's short for. I don't know if it means my hands. I don't know what I was going to tell you. No idea. But the main thing is, today's my 1-year anniversary, my 212th video. I have 488 subs. I appreciate every single one of you. I do. I appreciate every single one of you. And if you leave me a comment, you just make my day. Honestly, you guys leaving me comments has been a big part of me getting better mentally. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. All right. I don't have notes for anything else. This has been kind of one of those days. But one of my grandsons called me. I have the 2 little grandkids that are with me all the time. They don't live with me. It just seems like they do. Their parents both work, and I keep them while their parents are at work. And their mother goes to work at 5 in the morning, and their dad goes to work at 8. So they spend the night with me so often because it's just so much easier on me and them if they can wake up when they want to, rather than having to wake up and leave with their dad, and he has to come over here, which is, takes extra time, and before he goes to work. So that's why they spend the night a lot. Besides, they just like to spend the night with me, but it just makes life so much easier. And in fact, they almost always stay Friday night and Saturday night with me too, just because they want to. Saturday night, sometimes their parents have get-togethers with friends or something. I don't know. I think they really sleep. But anyway, the kids often spend Friday and Saturday night with me. They're not tonight because I've had a lot of pain lately with my arthritis. I don't know why. And so I told their dad I just needed a break tonight, and so they're not here. But anyway, I don't know where I'm going there. Oh, my nose itches. I guess that's it. You guys have a wonderful weekend. Leave me a comment. Tell me something. All right, guys. Give me a thumbs up if you can. Leave me a comment. Have a wonderful weekend. I'll see ya. It's me again. For my new subs, obviously this is a low rent project. I don't have a round light or any kind of lights. It's just daylight from that window and the light above. And my only equipment is my cell phone and a tripod. And on my videos, when I say see ya, that's never the end. I always think of something I forgot to say, and so I always put something else on the end. For one instance, I wanted to show you guys that my geranium is doing wonderful. Can't even get it all in here. And there's a snowman right there. I'm going through things. I want to be a minimalist, and I pretty much am. But I'm going through all my Christmas decorations because I have a ton of Christmas decorations. You know, you can't go to a garage sale without seeing somebody has a whole table of Christmas decorations, and so I've collected all kinds of things. But I'm going through Christmas decorations, trying to part with some of them. And, when I was talking about my grandkids, I have the two younger grandkids, a little boy and a little girl. They're 6 and 9. And then my older grandsons are 18 and 19. And the 18-year-old called me today, and we just had a good talk. That was so nice. They live here in town, but since this whole pandemic thing started in March, I think I've only seen them one time because they work out in the public. They were going to school, but they are out in the public. One works they both work in a grocery store, and one also worked in a movie theater until that closed, but now it's opened again. But anyway, their mother is my daughter, and she worked in a grocery store. She recently changed jobs, but still, the three of them are out amongst the public a lot. And I don't know about you. Where I live, the virus is horrible. And I'm scared to get it because I'm 66. My lungs have some problems. I have asthma. I have scarring on my lungs. I don't think my lungs would survive it. And I don't mind dying, but I'm not ready to go today. And so I haven't seen my daughter and the two older grandsons maybe once in this whole time. And then when they did come over, I made them stay 6 feet away from me, didn't hug them or anything. So it was just nice that he called just to chit-chat with his grandma. That's another thing. In my state, it's mandatory that you wear a mask if you're out in public now. And I do. I've worn a mask since back in the first time they suggested it. I think that is a tiny thing for me to do to protect myself and to protect others. I mean, you know, nobody likes it, but really, is it that big a deal? Just wear your mask. Where I live, like I said, the virus is thriving. In fact, yesterday I read an article online that there was a conference among the medical people in my city, and they said they thought it was bad in March and April, but now they realize that was just like little campfires here and there. Now, my town is like a raging forest fire. Hospitals are full. I don't remember how many cases have been here, but I think somewhere around 5,000, which is a low percentage of our population, but still, for those 5,000 families, it was devastating. And I just don't want to get it, so I do wear my mask. Oh, I got an order from Walmart today, ordered groceries and went and picked them up. They had a hand sanitizer for the first time. I got a bottle of hand sanitizer. I felt like, man, I scored. I wanted strawberries because I was going to make this strawberry cake that's awesome and show you that for my first year anniversary. That was going to be my anniversary cake. 2 Walmarts and the local grocery store had no fresh strawberries and no frozen strawberries. I don't know what's up with that, but no strawberries today. And if you don't know it, there's an aluminum shortage because of the pandemic and facilities not working at full speed. When my daughter was still working at the grocery store, the beer guys told her that aluminum was scarce and they were going to run out of cans. And I heard, she didn't tell me that because I don't drink beer, but I drink Dr. Pepper in a can. And you guys are probably healthy and don't do that, but I have to have my Dr. Pepper every day. And I like it in a can, not in a bottle. I don't drink the bottled kind that comes in a 3-liter bottle or something. I might have to have the kind in a can. So this probably doesn't pertain to you guys because I think most of you are really healthy, but I'm an addict to Dr. Pepper. And I tried to order a box of Dr. Pepper. I buy boxes of 24. A 12-pack wasn't available. A 24-pack was not available of Dr. Pepper at 2 stores. I finally found one at a 3rd store. I'm sorry about this light. It's awful. Again, I'm plain vanilla grandma. This is a plain old video recorded on a cell phone. But anyway, I'm going to go, and this is really the end now. New subs, it's never really the end until I say this is really the end. I don't remember what else I was going to tell you. I've got several notes besides hand that I don't know what I meant, so don't know. But I will talk to you guys probably tomorrow. Okay, bye-bye. This is it.